Thank you.
Cool.
First, already. What the heck? Let's do this. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How can I
So
help
just
you?
so you guys are, I'm just trying to show the camera. So, gotta get some answers to this, this looks like tax fraud to me. But, I need to see, the history of that rental registration number. I need to know when this was altered. This was altered. This was the original registration. This one is the one that the city of Wayne, I don't know when they fabricated that one, but that's not what was originally issued. And I also need the comments to this, this registration number, because it says in the registration paperwork that's an owner occupied boarding house. But conveniently, the city of Wayne left all of that out, and they altered it. This is fraud. This is the original certificate. This is, I don't know when this was made or created under this number. It's the same number, so I need to know when, who altered it and when it was.
I don't know anything about it being altered, so, but whatever was in the system is the one that you would have, but
No, this is what was originally in the system. They,
Yeah.
at some point, they created this one.
no, so
No,
I'm
they
not sure
did.
how.
This
they
is
could
what
have
the city of Wayne
created this.
attached to the tax tribunal, but this is the original one.
So, but this is what BSNA, so this would be a copy of whatever's in BSNA, just even though if it's printed differently, so what's the difference? This
Well, the
is-
difference is, this one
the
says
day.
single-family dwelling, and it has the,
Well, let's see what we have in our system.
yeah. Nice try, City of Wayne. Nice try, guys. Nice try. Caught you, though. Caught you red-handed in the cookie jar. You guys think you're so slick. Yeah, you're gonna see how slick you are in federal U.S. District Court. Mm-hmm. Because we're gonna get the history of that and figure out, well, what exactly is going on. It's weird. Well, there should be a history, though, of when it was amended, right? There's got to be a history of, somebody logs in and they alter it or change it, right? There's got to be some sort of history log of that. Because this is what I received this is what I received on December 17th of '24, along with a piece of paper that said owner occupied boarding house. And then this is what the city of Wayne attached to the tax tribunal, right? A completely fictitious document that's been clearly altered. And it's false. Number of units, one. There's not one unit. There's 7 units. It's a 7-bedroom house, not a 1-bedroom. You can't even have a 1-bedroom house. They won't even let you build a 1-bedroom house. It doesn't meet the square footage requirement.
This is the document that I have, I don't have, this is the only document I have in your file.
Okay, well, now that's a different one.
How is it different than what you
Well,
have?
they're all different. I mean, look at them. That's the one I received when I registered.
Right, that would be
This is the
same.
one that they gave to the tax
So the
tribunal.
date's gonna change because of the date that the date was printed, so as you can see, I printed it today's date, so it's 7/1, so it's the same. All right, number of buildings is 1. It's you and your wife's name, I believe, rental group is single family, unit 1, tenant is, I don't know why it shows you, manager is you. Your address and then your phone number,
Okay.
have the date that it was issued and the date that it's expired, your registration fee was $100.
Is there, cause so when I
Give
registered,
you your application that you presented. Let me print that out.
yeah, if you could. Whatever you got, I appreciate it.
But, that's the only document I have on your record.
Okay.
Your landlord registration.
Well, now we got 3. We got 3 different ones, guys. I don't know.
I got you a copy of your own driver's.
Interesting. Okay. So at some point it was changed. It's been changed 3 times. It went from nothing to this to this.
This is the application you turned in when we created that document for you.
Okay. And there's, there should be some language about an owner occupied boarding house.
That would be through the ordinance.
Oh,
Do you
that's
are-
through the
yeah, you
ordinance.
can- Did you need, you know how you go online and take a look at those?
Uh-uh.
To go through the code of ordinances, just do a quick
Okay.
little search and that will be able to present all that. And you can research all the definitions.
No, I'm saying though, like, I have a document from the city of Wayne
Mm-hmm.
that this, under the rental registration paperwork, there's there's supposed to be like a comment section or something.
I don't have anything about comments. This is all I have.
Okay, because
So
I
don't
had Bob
know.
Watson saying,
I don't know what Bob Watson, this is the documents that I can present to you. This is what I
Okay.
have in under your folder, under that rental registration. So anything beyond
and
that.
there's no history, because I
I
mean,
have
there's,
like the history. This is your history. Here's your application.
that's my
You
application.
came in, right?
But
You
there's
paid,
three
you paid for
different
driver's
documents
license.
here from the city.
They're all the same documents. I'm not sure. Again, it just looks
They're all the
different.
same?
So this one, the one I just printed out today, is under a new BSNA cloud. Maybe it's the only difference between here and net. I don't know about this. This is your original. This matches everything I have in my system. This was your original application. Didn't print out your driver's license because I'm assuming you have a copy of that. I don't know about anything else. This is the only history I have on a rental registration.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good day today.
You too. All right, guys. Well, interesting. We got 3 different rental registrations now. 3 different ones. But yet apparently there's no history of when they were, well, they've been altered. Clearly they were altered. I mean, it has a date on it, right? So somebody altered it. But nobody knows nothing in Wayne. Nobody knows anything in Wayne. Hey, let's go see if the door is still blocked. Let's go check that out. Let's go see this shit. Oh, they got new cameras up. Look, guys. They got new cameras. Wow, say hello. Oh, they still got the black one, though. They still got the one that apparently doesn't work. They still got that one up. But they got a new one. They got a new one, guys. Hey, look, they still have it blocked. So if you're like standing outside the door here, right? Look how close I am to the door here. Right, this is how close I was on the video on May 20th of 2026 when I was assaulted by Lisa Kobani. I was standing right here, right, as you can see. But yeah, now they blocked the window. So that way when they slam the door into you, they can say, "We didn't see you, sorry." Right? God, I love these people, man. They really keep me on my toes. Now let's go swing over to the, well, don't want to give our enemies any clue. But let's swing over to the we'll swing over. We'll swing over, guys. Swing over. It's interesting though, right? Interesting how nobody knows nothing, right? They can go in and alter, you know, legal documents, right? But then they can say, "Oh, we don't know who changed it. We don't have a record." Well, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And we're going to FOIA that information today. And we're going to figure out, well, damn, chain of custody issues again, huh? More chain of custody issues in Wayne, right? Interesting. We have 3 different rental registrations from the same house, the same property. But we have 3 different ones. But nobody knows nothing. See, nobody knows anything, guys. Isn't it the weirdest thing? You know, the city of Wayne, this is what they gave me. This is what they gave me, guys. Right? This is what they attached to the tax tribunal, right? They attached this one, right? Which is dated 11/10 of 25. So on 11/10 of 25, right? They altered it. They changed the information in it, right? Here's the date, right? Get a look at that. Well, here's the original one, right? Here's the original one. Now notice the difference there, right? It doesn't say single family dwelling, and it doesn't have any units or buildings. And this was printed the same day. This was issued the same day this was issued, right? Well, then the city attaches this, right, with the tax tribunal. Well, that's different than this, right? Well, what's the big deal? Well, this one says single family dwelling, right? The other one originally didn't. And then, of course, number of buildings 1, number of units 1, right? So they're falsely claiming there's only 1 unit when in fact there's multiple units because there's bedrooms, right? There's more than 1 bedroom in a house. Let's see here. So And then you look on this application, you see that number 5 right there? That's been X'd out, right? Number 5 right there has been X'd out, right? This is the original application, and for some reason number 5's been X'd out. It's been X'd out, and there's no initials, so we don't know who X'd that out, but I certainly didn't. So yeah, that makes interesting. But then this is the one we got most recently today. This is the one that we got today. It's different than the other ones. It's different than the other two, right? So it just keeps on keeping on. But let's see here. Let's go hang out though. Let's go hang out for a minute with our friends. For a minute. City of Wayne, Michigan, tax tribunal, tax fraud, trying to steal people's properties from them, right? Of course, right? Because that's what the City of Wayne does. If they can't, if they can't weaponize the legal system or the mental health petition process against you, they can't have any success with that. They'll just try to steal your house, right? Over-assess you or claim that you don't. Oh wait, it's not 10 o'clock yet. Oh yeah, we still got time. Yeah, we got to wait. I forgot they don't open until 10 o'clock around here. So, yeah, but we need to go back in and ask them a question. Go ask another question. But yeah, it is interesting though. Interesting the tax fraud that's being implicated there. It's very interesting. Very interesting how they're falsifying documents and making claims about things, right? I mean, they're making these claims. They're falsifying documents. They're not the original documents that were issued, right? They're conveniently leaving out the owner-occupied boarding house information, and yeah, it's really weird. Really weird. It's kind of funny. Kind of strange, I gotta say. Kind of strange. Gotta say, guys. So yeah, so this application right here has been altered as well, right? They crossed out 5, right? They crossed that out. And it's interesting. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff, guys. Very interesting stuff, I must say. Very interesting stuff. Let's see if they'll correct it. They'll say, oh, no, we can't. We can't correct it. Well, let's see if they will. See if they will. I doubt it. Highly doubt it.
What are we doing to help you?
So I just noticed, that's, I don't know who crossed that out.
I'm assuming somebody did because you didn't do it correctly. Or you did it, I don't know. I didn't cross it out, I wouldn't have touched your application.
Well, there should have been initial, I didn't initial that, because it should be 5 units, not 1. I put 5 in the application.
Somebody did, but they're talking buildings, number of units, I don't know. I'm assuming you did it because that doesn't look like my handwriting.
No, it was,
Kirk? Possibly, you met with Kirk, so.
no, it was, older lady, gray, curly hair.
She's no longer here, so maybe
Okay.
she crossed it off because it wasn't correct if you entered it in, but we don't write on your permits, we ask you to write.
Well, I'm telling you, I did not do that.
Okay.
So I want to get this corrected.
I can't correct that at that point, it's already a permanent
Well, who-
document. I cannot go in and change.
What do you mean
a
you can't
permanent
correct
doc-
it?
I cannot go in and change a 2024 document to correct.
How did they change these ones?
I don't know how they changed that.
Well, who would
I
have
don't
the
know.
ability
I
to do that?
not know who would have the ability.
You don't
I don't
know?
have anybody else here. I can tell you, I
Really?
created the document. I cannot go in and alter it.
I mean, the
to my
property owners are different
I don't know. I don't know
classification.
how they're different. It's however you take
The
title.
name, right? Look,
I
like,
understand.
this has both
Did you
owners.
change the title?
Yeah, but
So
why
I'm
would they?
assuming when you originally was issued this,
Uh-huh.
did your title change? Because this is linked to assessing, so if it was
Oh,
reprinted out.
oh, okay.
So like I told you, two
Okay.
different systems.
Tax assessor.
BSNA Net,
Gotcha.
BSNA
Okay.
Cloud. So
Okay.
if this name changed between this date and
Mm-hmm.
this date, any changes, it's gonna pick up all those changes. Whether it goes to the units, I cannot go in and alter a document, number of units,
Oh.
one, number of buildings, one.
So the lady that's no longer working here, she was able to create it, but you're
She
not.
was able to create it in 2024. Once it's a
Uh-huh.
permanent document, we cannot go in and alter a permanent document, right? It's permanent records. We
Okay,
don't
but we
ever
have-
want anybody to have the ability to change a permanent record.
So we have 3 different permanent records,
Well,
but,
you have 3 different records. It's for the printing. I'm trying to explain that to
Oh,
you again.
oh.
Okay, right, so you follow me.
Mm-hmm.
BSNA Net, originally we created this in BSNA Net in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why the buildings were not established. When I
Right.
went in and reprinted this from BSNA Net, it was there. I do not know
Mm-hmm. Okay.
why the difference.
so you're saying,
Today, I printed this from BSNA
yeah,
Cloud.
and that's different
And
from
it,
that.
right, so if title had changed, it's gonna capture whatever is the most current information under that record.
Okay,
The permanent record stays the same from 2024, but the information could change if you've made changes. Like if you changed your phone number and that was public record, that number
Oh,
could have changed.
okay.
You obviously added your wife to title, so that changed.
but I'm saying, like, is there a system that changes it, or is there
Not a system, we
somebody?
entered into BSNA Net.
Okay,
It's
but
into a
who's they,
computer
though?
system. Anybody, any admin, any person who is entering either a permit or a record. Could
Any
be of
admin.
us, then it's a permanent record.
And your
into-
computer system doesn't keep track of who enters and,
It does keep track of who enters,
okay.
but I could go back into 2024, and I'm assuming I'm probably the one who entered your information.
okay, so I get, last question, I don't want to take up more of your time. So so if I do a FOIA to get, the log or the chain of custody of, who,
You can try to do that. This
Okay.
is again a new system.
would I turn that into you guys, or do I
You
turn that
will have to
into?
go into the city clerk.
City
I'll just
clerk,
Go through
okay.
the city clerk,
Okay.
and then she'll disperse them.
Okay,
But
okay.
then that gives them time, because I know said this is a brand new system, we just transferred it.
I understand, I'm not accusing you, Denise, personally, I don't
No,
think
I
you're
don't think it's.
nefarious
I
or
didn't expect
anything.
that you were
I think you're one of the good
serious.
ones, if you can believe that.
Well, I just want to make sure that we
But,
get
yeah,
what you
yeah.
have, but again, I can't change your permit
Okay.
to it, and I don't know why, it's different.
Okay. So tax assessing basically is who I'd wanna,
So assessing is any
Yeah.
information that's in assessing, we are all links of any
Okay.
changes are in assessing. But now when it comes to a permit, anything from 2024 is a 2024 permit.
Okay.
A transfer from net to cloud, it's a permanent record.
okay. Well, I appreciate you answering my
And none
question.
of us have the ability to manipulate a permanent record. That's the reason why it's.
Right,
permanent. We don't want
okay.
Anybody to be able to make changes.
Okay, well, I appreciate you explaining to me, Denise. Have a
You're
good one.
welcome.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm not really understanding. Don't make a whole lot of sense, It's kind of like talking out of 2 sides of your mouth, right? At the same time, but. I don't know. It's weird. Weird, guys. But it's all good. It's all good, guys. We're not tripping. We like the complicated, controversial, doesn't make a whole lot of sensio type of scenario, right? We like those scenarios. We prefer it that way, We wouldn't have it any other way, of course, so. We'll go down, speak to the tax assessing office later, try to get an understanding of who alters these documents, right? Who inputs these documents, right? They don't have the ability, seemingly, to alter them, but they do, but they don't, right? It's amazing, like, how much these people know, but how little they know, right? It's amazing, right? It's just amazing the back and forth of it, The double speak is what it gets me, right? I love it. We love the double speak. So, yeah, it's interesting. Very, very interesting. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think personally these documents prove my case, right? But yeah, it is a bit strange though. My wife was added as the property owner though. She was added, right? So again, weird. My wife got here 2015, right? I don't know. It's just the whole thing's weird. The whole thing's strange and unusual, and yeah. I mean, I get it, right? The city of Wayne's not a big fan of me. I get it. The feeling is mutual, right? Of course, but yeah, I just find it. I find it kind of strange, you know. I don't know any other way to put it. I just find it kind of weird, you know. Kind of weird. This whole thing. I find it a little bit weird, but we have 3 different rental registrations now confirmed, right? So at some point in time, you know, these were altered, right? They claim they're not allowed to alter an original record, but you know, clearly somebody did. So yeah, it's interesting, very interesting. The little details, you know, the little details. But yeah, then of course we're gonna go home and do a FOIA, right? Because you can't just go down and get the record. You got to do a FOIA. Right? You can't just have the record that's supposed to be freely publicly available to you. You can't do that. That's too simple. That's not complex enough. That's not, you know, it's too easy, right? That's too much transparency, right? We gotta have a roadblock. We gotta have resistance, right? Because that's the sign of free information, right? That you have to go out of your way and jump through hoops to obtain it, but freely available public information. Right. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting to get another different rental registration paperwork. And it's kind of strange, right? They don't include the original, they include the one that's been altered, right? It's just really weird. And then of course they can't find any mention of owner-occupied boarding house, even though Bob Watson, who works at that same office, on his paperwork, that's what he says. In the notes, that's what it says. Owner-occupied boarding house, right? So kind of strange how that works. But yeah, apparently the big fat bitch with the Jewish gray afro, she's not working there anymore apparently. So interesting. It's interesting how that works, right? The person who originally issued this rental registration, right? Take a look at that. See, you'll notice the date, right? 12/17, right? You'll notice down here that was when it was issued. So this is what was originally issued, right? Of course, the city ordinance requires you to hang this in the wall. That's why it's in a picture frame, right? As soon as I got it, I hung it on the wall, you know, because that's the rules. So, you know, interesting how that turns into this, right, for tax tribunal purposes. This one apparently was printed on 11/10/25, right? So a couple months after they took away my exemption, right? Then they altered this, right? So this is what it was like when they rescinded the tax exemption, right? That's what was issued, right? That's what the decision was based on, was this one. But then after the fact, they changed it to this. They attached this one to the tax tribunal case, which is weird that they wouldn't attach the original one. But apparently the original one, it doesn't exist anymore, apparently, because we had them print off a new one, and this is what they printed off, which is different than this one. You understand? So this is the one they're using for the tax tribunal case, but this is the one that I guess is the most current, up-to-date one, right? So you're like, huh? It has my mom, or it has my wife, Louisa Burgos, listed as the property owner. But then, of course, it has tenant/manager address, right? So it has me as a tenant in my own house, right? Here's the information. So it says I'm the manager, I'm the tenant, and this is where I live, right? So they're claiming their own documents claim I live there, but then they're claiming I don't at the same time. It's real weird, real strange, but yeah, U.S. District Court for sure is gonna love this one. They're absolutely gonna love this one. You know, I understand it involves a state tax exemption, but you know, again, yeah, this ain't adding up, ain't making a whole lot of sense. And then of course you look at the landlord registration application, right? And you notice I put 5 units on there, right? But you'll notice this one says 1 unit, right? This one says 1 unit on here. But of course I put 5 units on the original application, right? I put 5 units and that was X'd out by somebody, so. Find that kind of, find it kind of strange. Find it kind of strange, guys. Smells like fraud to me. It smells like fraud, but yeah, we're not. Of course, we're not going to be able to get the FOIA in time, right? We're going to file the FOIA today. Of course, we're not going to get that information in time. Of course, even if it were to be ready by the time in 10 days, right? Of course, they're going to, you know, want $1 gazillion, or they're just going to claim that the record doesn't exist, and then you're going to have to appeal it to the city council. And then you got to wait for them to issue a final determination, and then only then you can file a lawsuit, and then it'll take about 3 or 4 months for you to hear it. And then yeah, maybe after a year or whatever, you probably won't though, but you might get your documents that are supposed to be freely and readily publicly available, right? So it is a fuck system, no doubt, but it is the system nonetheless that we have, that we are forced to operate within at this time. So, you know, I'm just telling you guys, I don't make shit up. I don't lie. I don't embellish. I don't sensationalize. This is all verifiable information, right? So right here, this is the original document, and it also there's a document in this rental registration paperwork that, of course, we have a copy of it. We have proof that it exists, but the city of Wayne's claiming that it doesn't exist. Well, what's that document? Well, it says that my house is going to be an owner-occupied boarding house, right? Owner-occupied boarding house. So you're like, okay, well, where's that paperwork? That paperwork was just, it's conspicuously missing, even though the city of Wayne has it in their possession. I gave their newly appointed council a copy of that information, of that owner-occupied boarding house narrative, right? That was written the same day that this original rental registration was issued, right? So owner-occupied boarding house right here. And here's the original application, right, where I clearly put 5 units, right, but they crossed it out. They crossed it out and they X'd it out, right? And then, yeah. This is all they attached, right? Something that's been altered. That's not the original. That is a fabrication, right? And of course, we don't know who altered it, right? We have our assumptions, right? We can assume. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know, and you got to get a FOIA to get that information, apparently. So apparently, you got to get information that pertains to your property. You gotta ask permission to get information that they have to have. They have to give it to you, because it's your information and it pertains to you, but then they're gonna, you know, of course, make you go through this process, and you gotta pay money, and yeah, we all know, guys, how this bullshit works. We all know. But yeah, I'm going to the house I don't occupy, right? You see all those shoes right there? You see those shoes that are, you know, my size, 10 and a half, 11. You see all those shoes with all the wood chips in it? See all those wood chips in the shoes, guys? Because I do woodwork, and you see the big wood pile right there? Let me zoom in so you guys can see. You see that big wood pile right there? Yeah, I do woodwork, and that's why I have wood chips in my shoes all the time, and I leave them out here, right? That's some mycorrhizae, right? So this is mycorrhizae fungi. This is an inoculant for the root system for the trees, right? So yeah, I broke into the yard and plant trees in people's yards and then don't live here, you know? That's how that works, right? That's what they want you to believe, because, you know, when you got to protect the lie at any cost, the truth just simply can't get in the way, you know? But hey, babe, check it out. I'm in my room that I don't. Hey, check it out, guys. I'm in a room that I don't own or occupy. Right? I'm in some random person's room in their house. I just walked in. I don't really live here though. Right? Baby crib right there. Nobody lives here though. But yeah, babe, I wanted to show you something here. You're gonna be really surprised when you see this. Not really, but you will be. It gets even better. Right? So, original registration. There's the date, right? The same date that it was issued, right? So that's proof. That's undeniable, mistakable proof that this is the original registration. Okay. Now you notice number of units 0. Interesting, because I have the original application where it appears somebody forged and crossed out the 5 that I had put down.
Ooh.
And I put 1 building, 5 units. 0 buildings, 0 units.
Oh.
So there's no initial there. Whenever you cross something out like that, you're supposed to put a line through it and put your initials. So somebody crossed it out. But this is the original document. So those are the originals. That's what, but somebody crossed out 5, so somebody committing fraud there. Won't tell me who though, they don't know. And then this is what they attached to the tax tribunal case. Missed the date, right? 11/10. So that was after they already denied it.
Yeah. Issue.
But that was the date when this was printed. So as you know, they rescinded the exemption before this date. So they rescinded the exemption based on this, but then they attached this to the tax tribunal. But this isn't what was originally used to make their determination. This was created after the fact. Okay. So now I go down there today, and then they give me a whole different one. 710, 71, right? So single family, I guess that's supposed to be the same, right? Number of units instead of 01, now it's just 1. But you notice your name's on it now too. So 3 different rental registrations, but she said on the record, she said on video that she cannot alter the original record, even though that's what she printed off, which is clearly.
And I'm here, but I am not here. I'm not supposed to be here.
Well, I mean, you could be, you should be, but they just have me as the manager
Okay.
and the tenant, right? Well, it's funny too. It says tenant, right? I'm a tenant at this address, but then they're claiming I don't live there. So yeah, now we have to. We got to figure out. Well, I'm gonna do a FOIA to figure out who altered it. Of course, we're not gonna get that information by the time we, go to court, of course. But yeah, that is interesting though, because that right there, that's a forgery. That's a forgery of information. That is an alteration of the original document, and it is not properly done. Oh, now I'm going into this bathroom that I don't own or occupy or live in. I'm going into the bathroom, guys. I'm going to take a shit in the toilet that I don't own or occupy, which is really weird, right? To just walk into some random person's house and start taking a shit in their house. But hey, don't worry about that kid in the background, right? I know you guys want to, pry and stuff. Don't worry about that kid. That kid, that's just, yeah, that's my kid, right? But I of course, I brought him over here, right? We broke into the house together, guys. We broke into the house together. So, yeah, interesting. Interesting shit, though, I got to say. The city of Wayne never, ever, ever ceases to amaze me. But, yeah, I love that they're giving false evidence, right? To the tax tribunal. I love that. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And, yeah, I think it was the tax assessing office that did it. That's what I think. I think it was the tax assessor's office. So we're going to go hang out there. We're going to go have a little fun there today. We're going to go hang out there all day long. We're going to go hang out there. We're going to record them. Because obviously these people can't be trusted. Obviously these people are fraudsters, right? Committing fraud, openly committing fraud, altering original documents, changing original documents, right? Falsifying information, changing the documents, and then handing those false documents into the tax tribunal as if it's some bona fide evidence when, the evidence shows, right, that it was changed after the fact, right? After the fact, right? So what is that indicative of? Well, that's indicative of a cover up, guys. That's indicative of some people that are trying to cover their own ass, right? They're trying to they engage in a punitive action against somebody. They realize that that punitive action might make them look bad. It might get them implicated. And so they try to clean it up, right? Make it look better. Oh, it's a single family dwelling, right? You know, as if that like means anything. That's their classification, of course, but that's not how it works. But, you know, like I said, never let the truth get in the way of a good lie, guys. Never let the truth get in the way of a good lie, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I find it to be absolutely disgusting, and it's going to be interesting. But, of course, I have YouTube videos going back 2 years of me being in this house, but now they're claiming I don't own or occupy the house. So it's weird. I got charged with interfering on May 9th, right? But I don't live here. It's weird. It's weird how that works. Well, if that's the case, if the city's claiming that I don't live here, right, I don't occupy it, right, then why am I here every time the police show up? How come I have all these police reports, right? So the city, right, is knowingly making false statements. They know I live here. Running for office here. I vote out of here. I go to every city council meeting. Every time the police or the fire department comes, I am here, right? Day or night, I'm here. But yeah, they're making knowingly false statements to a court in the hopes that that court will take that false information and use it to punitively punish and to strip away my tax exemption and to basically steal my home from me, right? So I don't think you could find a more sinister and disgusting anti-American act than to try to steal, disingenuously, very lazily, sloppily, steal a disabled veteran's homestead, right? I mean, that's pretty sick shit, but that's where we're at in society. That's where we're at in Wayne, Michigan now, right? Because, you know, the city of Wayne, like I said, they don't deserve to exist, right, at this point. They don't deserve to exist. They're not a legitimate municipal corporation, right? They're none of that. They are a complete and utter and total fraud, right? A complete and total and utter embarrassment. The quicker that we end it, the quicker that we end this shit, the quicker that we say, you know what? No more City of Wayne. Welcome to Westland, baby. We're in the Wayne neighborhood. We're in War Wayne, right? War Wayne, West Wayne, right? We're in War Wayne. But yeah, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to even say I live here, you know. It always was, but now it's just like, it's sad, pathetic, but that's what we got, guys. A little update for you. More fraud from the city of Wayne, more deception, more delusion, more lies, more propaganda, more punitive measures. Because, of course, we cannot let a truth get in the way of our lies. Thank you for your time, guys. Hope you enjoyed and hope you learned something.